Hey folks, it's time for yet another custom lesson. This one has been requested once again by Evafox, who claims last custom lesson request, I swear. Yeah, okay, I sure believe you. But thanks, and for requesting them, and nonetheless, you get priority given the fact that you're a member. So if you don't know, if you're a member, you pretty much just get jumped to the front of the queue, and I'll work on it as soon as I can. That is for, I think, tier 3. But anyway, who cares about that? I want to see an efficient axe build, utilizing, in your opinion, the most complementary soul cores that can help overcome the sluggishness and even combo together. So the weapon will be, for the most part, axe. In my case, I'm using a hammer, but you can just use an axe. By using a hammer, I do more key damage, but I inflict less actual damage. So there's a trade-off. Secondary can be the axe. I did clarify it doesn't actually have to be the axe, but the main focus of this will be the axe. The secondary I do choose is hatchets. I'm a big fan of using the hatchets. And as you can see, I'm using Sakata Kintoki. So yeah, I kind of had to use the hatchets again. Guardian Spirits is my choice, and secondary Guardian Spirit my choice. Basically, pretty much everything is up to me except one soul core, which will be Konaki-Jiji. And then, all right, let's talk about this. So let me showcase my weapons. As usual, Ippo and Datara's hammer. This just has corrupted and life drain active skill. That's it, and you can see the other stats on it are things that I like to have anyway. I'm not using a Demon Horde axe this time. I nerfed my damage in favor of key damage, and it's pretty crazy when coupled with other things. I'm using Demon Horde hatchets. You can see right here. The anima bonus on grapple is nice, and I think hatchets forms an excellent secondary weapon, but in the gameplay showcase, I pretty much 90% of the time just play the hammer. So you'll see that soon enough. But let's get on to the Guardian Spirits. I went with Yumehami simply because I figured what would make hammer even crazier? How about having more key damage? And that's why I picked this. So you can pick all sorts of other things. There's, I think, Usura Hicho, which has active skill key damage, but I didn't really think it was necessary, and it's nice. And then yeah, I figured, okay, we'll just go with Yumehami's melee key damage. Great, awesome. Now as for the soul cores, you can see here I have Konaki-Jiji, and it's rank 9, and you can feel free to boost this up, especially if you're playing a tankier sort of character, but I didn't really bother. The anima bonus is nice, but get whatever anima bonus you would like. Ancient Nyotengu makes a return once again. It is a phenomenal setup core, totally anti-human, and it's so great. And then for a quick cancel core, I went with Lesser Umi-bozu, especially for the potential of inflicting confusion. This is really fast, and I find it works really well with the axe. So yeah, in terms of ranking these up, maybe Lesser Umi-bozu, take that to 30, and Konaki-Jiji up to 30, but that's like it. You don't really, I didn't even bother boosting the rank, so I didn't really think you'll have to as well. But let's get on to the secondary Guardian Spirit, which is Atlas Bear. So Atlas Bear, the reason I went with it was simply because we get a bonus to our damage anytime we're at low key. And with axe or hammer, you tend to use a ton of key. So very valuable. And then, yeah, melee damage is nice. Grapple life bonus is nice. But really I was thinking of, I guess, what's the situation we find ourselves in with the axe, and that is simply consuming a ton of ki. The mystic arts also kind of support this as well, so why not just take it up a notch with Atlas Bear? And so that was that. And I wanted a brute, so it works perfectly. Now for the first core, I went with Daidara Bocchi. Daidara Bocchi is a fantastic setup core. It works really well in groups, but even for single target, it's really handy. You can see the soul core rank is pretty high, but that's because I happen to get this great anima charge bonus. So if you happen to get something like this that you're attached to, feel free to rank it up, or if you're interested in the life and the toughness, go for it. But yeah, it's not really that necessary in my opinion. We have Maelstrom Fox, which can certainly seem an odd choice, but I think the Fox Spirit really does an excellent job of really helping you play almost, not necessarily slowly, but it really kind of helps you plan your moves out. And I find that the more effective axe and players tend to plan out their moves a little bit in advance. And when you can do that, then you can kind of keep this nice momentum going. And I think Fox Spirit does that really well. Last but not least, I wanted a quick mobility core, and that was Harinobo. I don't think I've featured Harinobo before, but it is pretty awesome just to be able to move around. Because of course, one of the weaknesses with axe being so slow is just that you're committed to where you are. And if you need to move, you need to cancel a quick action. Well, now you've got some options. Notice kind of these soul cores. Daidara is fast. Daidara is very fast. Fox Spirit is not the fastest, but it's still pretty fast, and you're free to do what you'd like. Harinobo is a quick reposition. And then going with Yumehami, Konaki-Jiji overall is a fairly fast animation. Ancient Nyotengu, while the animation for the ability itself is long, you're free to do what you'd like. Lesser Umi-bozu is overall really fast. So this is about really adding the speed theme to the axe. And now let's just show you what it's like. First, I'm going to go with the yokai shift just to show you what's possible. But again, I'm not going to focus too much on yokai shift this time. Although it will be pretty hilarious when you can make it work in your favor. And that's when it can be dirty. So a great opener. I was hoping he wouldn't do the burst attack. Alright, let's try this again. So an opener is just use Ancient Nyotengu, alright? Guardian Spirit, Ancient Nyotengu. Charge, teleport in, bonk. Beautiful, right? And the thing is, if you need quick anima, quick Amrita to charge up the charge attack so you can teleport in, don't forget, Umi-bozu is ridiculously spammable. So, absolutely take advantage of it. But what about Brute? Brute's gonna be remarkably fast. This one's gonna be a little strange in my opinion, but it can be really fast. Use Fox Spirit to help set things up. You can move right in. It'll feel pretty good. Daidara, of course, is crazy fast. In fact, it's so fast it kind of throws me off. So, how would I start a fight? With Brute? Like this. Pretty neat. And you can move around with Harinobo pretty handily. It's definitely not something to underestimate. Quick reposition core. So yeah, it's definitely very spicy. But again, the focus of this custom lesson is going to be based on how to make things work with the axe. So let's just show you some examples. Alright? Well, that was kind of crazy. Pretty nice, huh? Oh, I missed Umi-bozu. That's okay, though. Umi-bozu is your quick cancel core. It's 3 anima and it's highly spammable. The emphasis of this is going to be predominantly on really understanding when to use certain abilities. So you'll see me go for things like Rampage very frequently in the gameplay showcase because it's so good. I mean, that's pretty devastating. And I haven't even incorporated the Hatchets like at all. Okay, let's try this again. I still went for it even though I missed. And it's kind of the thing when it comes to the axe anyway. You kind of have to like really be aggressive when it comes to axe and hammer play. That is my personal opinion about that. You can't shy away, and you are rewarded with a whole lot of power if you don't shy away. So yeah, gotta play risky. Let's try this again. Really? This is always kind of fun. Harinobo to push you towards the enemy's back in order to get a lumber chop. Yeah, it's pretty great. Ah, I was actually expecting him to get up, then I would have gotten the rampage. Let me try that again. It's pretty crazy what you can do when you set things up with the axe. You're like, damn man, that's a lot of power. Oh, you dodged it. No worries. Isn't that crazy? It's quite devastating when you use these cores as excellent supports. But I haven't really dabbled with the secondary, so let's just show you some cool combos I can do using the hatchets. Oh, I forgot Konaki-Jiji doesn't hit too well on the ground. It's awesome, isn't it? Like, you just, a lot of constant action happening, and most of it is just involving setting things up. Against human bosses, you can usually get an extra combo off. Pretty awesome, right? Let me showcase some Stone Mallet. It's actually a move I don't use too often. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, I was hoping he would get up. Oddly enough, because this is just a basic human, it actually kind of throws me off. Hey, what you doing? Nothing. Dang it. See, if he actually got up a little faster, I would have been able to combo him more. First world problems, huh? Alright, let's do some Stone Mallet plays. There we go. Oh, god dang it. I missed that. So, one of the reasons I like hatchets with this, aside from the whole like cosplay thing and whatever, is simply because what hatchets allow is just an extra angle of mobility and combo-ness. Combo-ness? I guess that's a word now. So let me show this. Ah, that could have worked. I actually did it a little wrong. Alright, here we go. Pretty neat, huh? Oh, for real. But yeah, so if I need quick mobility, I've got hatchets that I can always sheet swap to. And it feels really good. And when you start getting comfortable with the axe flash attack, it can be quite mighty. That's the crazy thing. Being able to use the axe flash attack almost in a safe scenario is ridiculous. Not bad, huh? Oh, glorious. So yeah, those are just a couple of things you can do. Let me finish this up by demonstrating some things you can do against a yokai. That's when stuff starts to get even nuttier. Start incorporating things like Sacred Bird Flight, and it gets even more delicious. Come on, spinning slide. Yeah, but I honestly, I'm not really focusing too much on hatchets this time since I was specifically tasked with axe. but it's definitely a lot of fun. But it would be a lot more fun to focus on all those together. Alright, let's get that axe flash. Very nice. Alright, one more round. I think one more round against each of them using the whole package. Ah, well. And then let's use hatchets one more time. Very nice. Glorious. So yeah, hopefully that should excite you enough for how you can work with the axe. And yeah, it's time to get on to the scroll. I will see you guys soon enough. Alright, time to put this to the test. You guys know the drill by now. So the scroll that I picked doesn't involve humans, but it involves two pretty crazy bosses. So we've got the crazy steroid on cocaine whatever Shuten Doji. This version is very difficult, so you're gonna get to see how the hammer more or less is able to make this fight so much more bearable. And I know Evafox, you had wanted to see this opponent sooner for your other custom lessons, so I figured I would take care of it now. So here you go, here's the super version. I guess I'll just call him Super Doji. So my objective right now is to be quite quick with this axe because it's a challenge, and especially on this guy who's super fast. And I think it's also a little thematic that I'm using the same, I guess, refashion as Shuten Doji's club, so it looks kind of neat. But yeah, I'm using a lot of Sacred Bird Flight. I haven't really got a rhythm going with Shuten Doji, and it's really quite hard given how fast he is. But once I get comfortable, as you're about to see, then I start to really push forth the action. Rampage depletes all of his ki. I'm going for a lot of pressure, a lot of damage, and so that can be very valuable. And I think this is when I start to set things up, so I maintain some range. I'm going for a fully charged Rampage. I don't think, yeah, that unfortunately didn't do any ki damage, which would have been great. I'm actually taking advantage of the fact that Shuten Doji is going into the Dark Realm a lot to set up Rampage, and oh, I missed! But yeah, you gotta be confident when you are playing your axe, but don't worry, you'll see more of that confidence really come to fruition with the second enemy. So I use hatchets a little bit because I realize I haven't really maintained my rhythm, but most of the gameplay in this scroll is entirely going to be featuring the hammer. See, I'm just maintaining my range, and thankfully with my cores I'm able to do just that. And then yeah, I gotta learn to stay close and get to the action. That way I can progress. And then good job Lumber Chop. And Daidara set things up. Maintain Rumbling Earth. Miss again. And then Harinobo reposition for Lumber Chop. Great. So, okay. Maybe not the coolest way to deal with things, but that's all going to change now that I'm dealing with a purple Nightmare Bringer. So once I get into that rhythm, which Nightmare Bringer is a great boss to really practice that concept of developing momentum. Once I get into that, you'll just see that I'm able to really maintain stuff. Admittedly, I was recording this really late at night, so I was a little tired, so you may see some awkward pauses from time to time, but it's going to change. Sacred Bird Flight into Nyotengu, doing a good amount of ki damage, and then let's go. Let's get to work, let's keep that ki low, and hammers are fantastic at that. Hit those weak spots, do some extra ki damage. Daidara set things up, make sure I've got the dodges in sync, and then let's go. Sacred Bird Flight, Konaki-Jiji, very nice combination. I don't think I'm able to deplete his ki, but I'm very, very close. And yeah, I can just, this is just a great demonstration of how powerful the hammer can be when you really start getting comfortable with it. When you're moving around, you're not necessarily trying to play at a lightning fast pace all the time. Instead, you're trying to plan your moves a little bit in advance and then sync them up with some soul cores. and just little bits of pressure here and there, and then you can find that the axe or the hammer in this case can be really effective. And see here, Harinobo, decent repositioning tool, which is very valuable given the Nightmare Bringer jumps a lot. And think about it, if I screw up, it's all over. And then here, let's go for some punishes. Now bear in mind, I don't have access to confusion, so this fight will take me a while, and I know you can see I've got about like 4+ minutes left, and so I really got to ensure that I have, again, that momentum going. So I'm really trying to take advantage of stagger properties from Phantom's charge attack, using Umi-bozu a little bit. I do think my yokai shift evaporates pretty quickly. Yeah, like right there I lost like 40% of my gauge, so I'm like, alright, well, I'm gonna lose it. I might as well try to throw stuff out whenever I can. So yeah, for the most part, as you've seen, I'm just gonna be playing hammer. That's pretty much it. That's literally what it's gonna be. Alright, just non-stop hammer action, trying to use it to its fullest. And as the fight continues to drag on, you're gonna see just that. So, Rampage. Good amount of key damage. Not bad. Remember, this is a purple Nightmare Bringer. This enemy isn't like paper weak or anything. Alright, very tanky. So, Ancient Nyotengu doing a good amount of work, mixing in all sorts of things, dodging just at the right time so I can keep some hammer pressure going. Feels pretty spiffy. And then, wow, his key's almost gone. Thank goodness for the hammer. And then here we go. And then I make a mistake here. I could have gone for attacks, but it was late at night again, and I got that grapple off instead, which I could have done more of a punish. But oh well. Again, you can see that, like, at first I was having a little difficulty, but now it's like, alright, looks like I've really got things in my favor. Maybe a stray hit here and there, but ultimately not really much to worry about. I'm able to make good use of these soul cores and just keep that momentum going. And nothing really is going to trip me up. And here's where I correct myself from the mistake I made last time, using all those soul cores to help me combo. Just a constant flow of action, which is great. And I can promise you, once you can deal with that, when you're dealing with Nightmare Bringer, the fight I find to be is significantly more fun than otherwise. I know he kind of jumps around, and many players don't find his moveset too diverse, but it's kind of nice and engaging to just have something pretty much happening at all times. It's one of the reasons why I like enemies such as Itsumade, or Fuki, or even Ongyoki and Suiki. Kinki, not so much, but that's just for other reasons. But yeah, by and large, I'm not having that much trouble anymore, which is great, and which is part of the point. I've got a good grasp of this fight when I'm using pretty much just the hammer. Oh, I missed the Jiji there though. So much for having that grasp, right? Given that it's a long fight, I am using lightning stop talismans just so that I don't get electrified and then have to redo everything over and over again. But other than that, yeah, I pretty much got this in the bag. There isn't really too much else for me to say. It's just keep the pressure going, take it slow and steady, combo with these things together, and then you really won't have to deal with the sluggishness of the axe whatsoever. And yeah, you can throw out your soul cores, you can really manage your opponents quite effectively. I don't think many other weapons would have as much ease as axe can from time to time. Simply because, ooh, nice key damage with Stone Mallet. Simply because you're planning your moves out. And it's a really good skill set to adopt, and I find that it can be instrumental in helping you learn how to play with other weapons better too. To just plan a move head in advance. And you pretty much got to do that with slowish weapons such as the axe. But alright, we're getting pretty close to the end here, and I was trying to actually get to use Brute Yokai Shift a bit, but I was not able to, and so I guess I'll just let you see how I end up finishing off this big old chump, this big old centaur, right? Harinobo, thanks for the reposition. Ooh, alright. How am I gonna send this guy off? And fully charged Lumber Chop. Sweet, excellent. So yeah, it took a while, but I was able to do it, and that is awesome. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will of course see you guys next time.